Hello.
That's a nice new feature. Anyway, welcome to Sons of Screens. Grab your sticks and clean your balls because we're going to the billiard hall tonight.
Gonna hit some balls.
Yeah, you ready to stroke some sticks with me tonight, sir?
I'm always ready to stroke some sticks. Well, as long as it's mine.
You don't want to share sticks?
Yeah. Sometimes when the sticks cross, you never know what's going to happen.
Never cross the streams. You don't want to chalk my tip, sir?
Yeah. Maybe later.
Okay. Off camera. Yeah. Gotcha.
We'll go to the green room.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, so if you haven't figured out, tonight's theme is billiards, a little pool hall action, because we are reviewing Poolhall Junkies and the Color of Money. You know, starring a bunch of people, which we'll get into later.
Yep, they were first-time watches for me.
Yeah, one of them was a first-time watch for me. The other one is a movie that I absolutely love. So I was like, okay, this is my chance to shove a movie down Colonel's throat, which I like to do.
Yeah, whenever you told me we were doing these movies, I was like, I'd never heard of them, and I was like, oh great, how bad are these going to be?
Don't know if I was setting up a trap or not.
Right.
Because I could do that.
I had two movies prepared if they were bad movies.
Oh, so you got some bad movies on standby just in case I set you up. I got you.
Oh yeah.
I see. You got a brain. I appreciate that. I don't appreciate the retaliation side of the brain, but yeah, well, does that mean you don't have a heart, or are you all the Wizard of Oz people together? You have a brain, heart, and courage. And
I don't have any of them.
I don't have the roulette slippers. I don't have courage. That's for sure.
Run away.
Exactly. I'm like, I feel you, Lion. I feel you. I'm running away from everything. But before we go into the billiard hall, we're gonna do our traditional beer taste testing.
The beer of the week.
Oh yeah.
The beer of the week.
So mine, since we're doing pool movies, like billiard movies, I hate that a pool is also like a swimming pool, so I always have to clarify if it's billiards or if I'm going to take a dip. You know,
different.
I just learned a little bit ago. Right? Yeah. But I just learned a little bit ago that this beer is not called Fat Orange Cat, but that's the actual fucking brew house.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So my guess is that this beer is called Stay-at-Home Dad with No Kids. And it's got this lazy ass bitch on the couch with this fat orange cat. The reason why I picked it, I was like, well, this bum is a stay-at-home dad with no kids. He needs to get off his ass and go hustle. Go make some money. Go hustle like a fucking pool hustler. And
you're right. I never would have.
Yeah, no. Well, because pool hustling is legal. You're just tricking dumbasses into falling into your trap, you know?
Yep.
That's their own damn fault. And then it's illegal for them when they shoot you for tricking them out of their money.
Taking all their money.
Yeah.
Might take your money, they're going to take your life.
Right. The only description I see on this can is it is a New England style India Pale Ale.
Okay. So it's probably hoppy because the India Pale Ale, I think, is what I had last week.
But I like my hoppies a little more than you do, I've learned.
Yeah, well, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
So
why don't you talk about yours?
So my beer is from the great city of El Dorado, Kansas, and the Walnut River Brewing Company. This one is called Cuvalda. I'm going to guess that's the correct pronunciation because I don't know. Right. So the main reason I bought it is because the division we live in is like on the can. So I'm pretty sure that the liquor store we go to is called Auburn Wine and Spirits. And I think that might be their logo. So they might have made this for Auburn.
Might be an exclusive.
Because it says, I mean, it's the Cuvalda Auburn Hammer. It is a Russian Imperial Stout, which concerns me a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's gonna drop the hammer on you. There.
Well, I think the reason they call it a hammer is because it has 12% alcohol by volume.
Oh, you got a thick dick on this one. I just
See
got to see what my percentage was.
Oh.
Mine's only 5.9. I'm safe this week.
I could see it whenever I opened it.
Yeah, just like I could see that goddamn fucking Mr. Mingo.
Oh, it smells like
gonna live in infamy.
It smells awful. I'm not a stout guy either. I didn't see it was a stout when I bought it.
You have to choke one down.
Oh. Whew. That tastes like almost like a Crown and Coke type of drink.
According to your reaction, it's Mr. Mingo's cousin, Mrs. Hammer.
It might be. Well, and it's bourbon barrel aged, so that's probably why it has a little bit of hard alcohol flavor to it.
Mine, pretty fucking tasty.
Yeah?
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, mine, go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just thinking like, India Pale Ale, I'm like, okay, I have a 50-50 shot. I'm either going to hate it or it's going to be okay. Because I do like some pale ales. I do like a little hoppiness to it as long as it's not like hopping into the back of my throat, or that doesn't make any sense. But
So you don't mind the hoppy as long as it's not like an IPA type of hoppy.
Yeah, as long as there's like a flavor balance in there, I'm okay with the hop. As long
like
as
the
good.
double IPAs, I usually don't fare well with.
Right. I don't know. Like I can't really like distinct like how to describe this. It's just it's smooth for a pale ale. Like I said, the hoppy is not super thick. It's one that I could probably drink a good sixer of. I think not a full 12, but
this beer literally tastes like they like you were to get a Guinness bottle, drink the neck out of it, and put a shot of Jack in it.
Like what was those? The dirty Coronas or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, while I'm drinking down this beer, do you know why I picked the shark koozie?
The shark koozie because of a pool shark?
Yes, sir. Yes.
What do I win?
A thumbs up.
Oh.
But I have a double jointed thumb, so it's like extra special because there's normal and then bam. It just goes back.
Speaking of thumbs up, make sure everybody gives us a thumbs up here.
Yeah, click the. Oh, then you need to add a fade button where it's just halfway. Like that episode was so. Like I have a good movie review thumb. I could have been on Siskel and Ebert because thumbs up, thumbs down, or it was okay. Like,
I can't really do what you did. That's as close as I got.
I think my left thumb is probably my left thumb goes really far back.
I'm really glad this beer is not a pounder.
Yeah. I'm still glad you don't like it though.
I bet you are.
Good old Chess Parliamentary. Both these movies had great casts.
They did. I was very surprised by the. So there were. Well, we'll talk about it when we get there. But there was one guy that I couldn't place, and then I went and looked him up, and I was like, oh yeah.
I bet I know who. My guess is, was it in The Color of Money?
It was not.
Oh. Okay. Then I have a second guess.
Well, I mean, you just made the guess 50% easier.
Well, because there's a few in Poolhall Junkies from like, I wonder if Colonel recognizes this person. Or if he's sitting there going, how do I know him?
That was exactly how it worked.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's how I felt.
I know you go full ape when you go, when you know something, but you can't figure it out.
See, I don't know if I go full ape, but I would say I go full Wookiee.
That was my attempt of a Wookiee. I was clearly from Kashyyyk, but not Chewy.
Oh, this beer, man.
I was a Wookiee with Down syndrome on there. There you go. Okay, I'll stop.
Got the oversized forehead.
Because I'm losing my hair.
Oh man, if we're gonna be PC, we probably ought to cut those comments out. let's be honest, we're not PC.
Oh, well, after you said that, I realized why you said oversized forehead.
Yep, that was why.
I thought you were cracking a ball joke.
No,
Whenever my big forehead.
ricocheted off of it.
Might as well try to bite my ear, huh?
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry, but we're going to have to pay some bills and take our first commercial break.
Less than a minute to go. Now the extra point kicks the lead. Here's the snap. Kick is up.
Beers. So I'll go first.
All right, through my cat.
If you like Guinness, you're probably gonna like this. Again, I'm not much of a stout beer guy.
I only like Guinness when I'm doing Irish car bombs. Then it's delicious.
So for me, this beer was a 1 out of 5.
A 1. A good old oneer, huh? Didn't want to go quite 0.5 like I did with the Mingo cock. But.
Well, so it did start to kind of grow on me a little bit at the end, but not enough to keep it out of a. It was, yeah.
Why not a 0.37? When I see 0.37, it's a Kevin Smith reference. 37 dicks.
Yeah.
Clerks reference. There you go.
Get some of that out of my mouth.
But this guy on my can, I tend to have a lot of people on my cans, I've noticed. This guy, he's kind of a lazy piece of shit. Stay at home with no kids. He's a stay-at-home dad with 0 kids. So he's a stay-at-home dad with his fucking cats. He makes pretty good beer.
So he's a cat lady.
Yeah, but more embarrassing.
So what did you give yours?
3.5.
Okay. So you liked yours quite a bit better than mine this week.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I kind of want another one.
Did you buy a multi-pack or did you just that's the one you got from over here, right?
See, all the ones I get, all the ones I got are just individuals from the guy from over there. But I got to remember, lazy piece of shit dad. I like that beer.
Did they was there any kind of assistance on the shots that were made, or were they just basically setting up the shot, like set up the shot and you just go shoot it? And like if their face is in it, I'm sure that they were the ones making the shot, but there's a lot of times where they're just showing the hands in the cue and not them, not their face.
With color of money, there was camera tricks and stuff like that. Okay. Although Tom Cruise did all of his own shots besides the double jump that he did in the movie. He didn't do that one. They had a pro come in and do that. With Poolhall Junkies, they are all shot by the people that are shooting them. Besides the super close up on the hands, and that's when they brought in a pro. But Lars Callahan, the writer, director, actor of the movie, he's an accomplished pool player, so he definitely knows what he's doing. And the other people in there, they either trained or were just pool players themselves, and pretty much all of them knew how to fucking play the pool. So yeah, to answer your question, most of them they were their own shots. Okay. I know Color of Money did a few like trick shot, like camera shots, stuff like that. But I haven't read in Poolhall Junkies that it was all legit pool shots.
So I get it. They probably set it up and told them where to shoot it, but still.
Well, that's another reason why I love Poolhall Junkies, because you get the full shot. There's no cuts. So every time they shoot it, you see it. Like when it's an important shot, not like a montage shot.
Well, and like
Not
in
one
the
of the
Color
Rocky
of
Ball
Money,
shots.
whenever Tom Cruise is sitting there to make a shot, and he turns around and looks back, and then makes the shot. That's pretty cool. I mean, I don't know how many takes they had, but
no, like this how dedicated Tom Cruise has been in his movies and why he's had this longevity.
He never has a stunt double. He wants to do his own stunts.
Even in a pool movie back in 1986. Right. But when he got this role, he was living in an apartment and he bought a pool table and practiced hours on end, night after night, just so he can make these shots going up the movie.
Okay.
Because I guess when he got hired on the movie, he wasn't a pool player. So he's like, well, I don't want some trickery bullshit. I want it to be me, Mr. Right. I do my own stunts since 1972.
Right. So which of these movies do you want to review first? Because that does bring up another little tidbit I wanted to bring up, but I want
to do Color of Money first.
Okay, well then I'll go ahead and bring up the tidbit that I was going to bring up, because did you know that the Color of Money released 5 months after a little better known Tom Cruise movie?
Does it involve airplanes?
It does. 5 months and like 3 days after Top Gun came out, The Color of Money came out.
That's good to Hollywood for you. I don't know what the shooting situation was on these movies, stuff like that, but sometimes you'll see an actor be in multiple movies in the same year, and it's just because the way.
And they could have shot them. They could have recorded them in different years, and it just took longer for post. But yeah, so let's kind of delve into the premise of The Color of Money.
The Color of Money, starring Paul Newman as Eddie Filson, Tom Cruise as Vincent Loria. They gave him a weird last fucking name. His girlfriend, Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio. She's
better
got
known
a gabagool name. Yeah.
Better known as Maid Marian.
Maid Marian and what? What is that?
Robin Hood.
Oh, she Robin Hood? She was also in Stir of Echoes.
So the Kevin Costner Robin Hood, she was Maid Marian.
I've only seen that movie once, and that's because I was a huge fan of the song that Bryan Adams did for it when I was a little kid. What is that song? I hear it in my head, but I can't hear it.
I don't remember there being really many songs that were Everything I Do It For You.
Yeah, that's Bryan Adams. Yeah.
Thank you, producer.
I
don't remember too many movies or too many like legit songs in that movie.
I would say when you started talking, then you said Everything I Do For You. I'm like, how did that just all of a sudden pop in your head? Like you just fucking remembered it. Because we got a bomb ass producer, not because you looked, not because your brain is that fucking chemically balanced.
It's got a water head.
Anywho, so yeah, we had a couple of stars that we're familiar with before they were famous in this movie. So we had John Turturro as Julian.
Yep.
Did you recognize him when you were watching that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Like right away, you're like, "That's the don't underestimate my sneakiness, sir."
Oh yes.
from Michigan.
He's in a lot more comedy movies now, but I've seen him in a couple serious movies. Like, yeah, I reckon he's one that I recognize pretty quick.
Well, the one you can instantly recognize is fucking Mr. Forrest Whitaker.
I was gonna say I was very surprised to see him show up, and he was only in one scene.
Yeah,
it was a great scene.
He was a name. Yeah.
Right. Like I was extremely surprised to see him, and I wasn't disappointed.
Of course, you're gonna recognize Forrest Whitaker because, like, his eyes. How can you forget his eyes? You know what I'm saying? Those are eyes that you just can't forget.
That's correct. He was.
They're so beautiful.
Yeah, when he came in and Eddie was like, He was like, are you a hustler? And he's like, you don't need to pay me. I mean, I don't want any animosity. Are you a hustler? He asked him like 4 times.
Mm-hmm. Just fucking say it, man. You're a hustler. The hustler got hustled in that scene.
Yes, he did.
Kind of put him in his place.
And
yeah, this movie's from 1986.
Mm-hmm.
And my
2 years after
apologies,
the best year.
because it's a good movie. It's a good year. Why is it the best year?
2 years after the best year.
Oh no, it's only 1 year after the best year, sir.
So for those,
but my apologies.
Know, Andrew was born in 85, and I was born in 84. So
yeah, this cockstain is a year and 2 days older than me.
I am.
So since I got to respect my elders around here.
No, you don't.
Because mentally, who's older? Well, probably you still. I don't know. We're pretty much the same age when it comes to mentality.
This is true.
Right. But my apologies, because like this is when I picked this movie, I just wanted to find a similar theme to Poolhall Junkies, and I learned that this movie, because I've heard this title many times before, The Color of Money. I've never seen it, and I never thought it was about billiards. And I learned it's about billiards. I'm like, okay, I'm going with that. Turns out this is actually a sequel. I'm like, shit.
Yes. So
this is a sequel.
So I didn't know it was a sequel, but so funny story. We were right before we watched it, I bought it on Vudu, and on Vudu you can click on the cast. You can go down and see the cast, and you can click on the people and see what other movies they have on Vudu. So I clicked on Paul Newman, and I was scrolling down, and was like, oh, he's got another pool movie on here. That's cool. Maybe he just likes doing pool movies. Then what that worked out to is apparently this was a sequel to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a 25-year gap. This Color of Money is a sequel to a movie called The Hustler from 1961 about pool hustling with Paul Newman, with Fast Eddie Felson. Which I was like, shit. So I mean, like, because like this movie, The Color of Money, it clearly you can watch it without seeing the first one,
right?
But I wonder if it would make it better though to just learn.
It does make me
background.
It does make me want to go watch the original just because, like, So Eddie is doing some things that makes you question, like, okay, why does he own this bar? Like, why did he go to this? Why did they show in the movie that they went to?
And they bring up his past too. Yeah, and they bring up his past too, and it's like, okay, this is a past that we should know. Probably we do know if we go watch the first one.
Well, and there was the scene that where they went to the pool hall that he told him to stay away from the guy in the cowboy hat. We were going to try and get more money off of this other guy, and then he ends up going and playing it. So the guy that runs that pool hall, there was obviously history between those two, and it makes me wonder if that pool hall is in the Hustler, the 60s movie.
Right. And Jackie Gleason was in that 1961 movie. They were going to bring him in for this movie, but they didn't figure out a way to actually insert that character without making him just like kind of like a sideshow, like a little like cameo or whatever.
Yeah.
Like if they're going to do it, they wanted to actually make him part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
But the way this movie started, though, like that makes sense knowing it's a sequel, because the way it started, like they were showing Paul Newman, like we're supposed to know who the fuck this guy is, like
right,
because he doesn't look intimidating, but apparently this is the first time we could see this guy after 25 years, and I did not know that.
Right. Yeah.
My bad.
I mean, it was a fun movie. I mean, did you know that it was based on a novel?
Yeah. Isn't it the same name, or that's The Hustler is the name, isn't it?
I don't know. I didn't see the novel. I just thought it was based on a novel.
So it's based off.
So that's on me and my research depth.
Okay, so it is called The Color of Money. Is the name of the novel.
Not
so
the
why
color
they called
of
the
water,
first.
Like what I.
Yeah. When I was watching it, and I saw The Color of. I was like, "Oh, this is gonna come back."
So funny story. I was gonna try and tell you that. Oh yeah, I got the Shape of Water and The Color of Money mixed up, and I just said the wrong name. But I'd never seen this movie or even knew about this movie, so that
I was gonna say I already knew that you haven't seen the movie, so that would have been a nice try, sir. But it would have been a failed try. But apparently they approached Martin Scorsese to do this.
Mhm.
I'm not really sure how big of an actor he was at this time, or not actor, director. I don't know if he was still building his name or whatever. I'm not the biggest Scorsese fan, or have I seen a lot of his movies? Like I've probably seen a lot of his movies. I just don't realize they were Scorsese. But they approached him,
I'm gonna go see if,
and
like,
he was originally going to do it. And go ahead and pull it up. And but he was originally going to do this in black and white so it can match up with The Hustler. But then he changed his mind because he wanted to try some new camera tricks with the pool, with the billiards. It wouldn't have worked if it was in black and white. So
Yeah.
they made this movie in $14.5 million budget, which is $1.5 million under its budget. So good job for you, Martin Scorsese, for staying under budget there. A lot of people don't ever do that. And I don't know how much it made, but it made a lot of money. I think it was like 53 million, I think is what I read.
So Scorsese's first director, first three directed movies were shorts, and those were in the like 1959, 63, and 64. And then he had another 4 movies that he did in the 60s. Ten movies he did in the 70s. So, the 70s is kind of when he was ramping up, is what I would say.
Building up his
in the 80s. The 80s. Well, he actually did less in the 80s. So the 90s and 2000s were big for Scorsese. I mean, he's directed 72 movies, and he's got 6 coming up. So,
while we all figure out where we know Scorsese, here comes another commercial because I gotta pee.
One of my favorite hangouts, Steepleton Billiards and Basketball. I'm waiting on my brand new custom-built pool table.
So I was gonna ask you. What was your, so in The Color of Money, what was your favorite scene, and what was your least favorite scene?
My favorite scene is any scene that fucking Tom Cruise is completely spazzing out like a fucking spazoid.
Like where he's dancing with the pool cue?
Yeah, and just like starts howling and shit. I'm like, what are you doing? Your eccentric shit is just it's not screaming pool hustler. It's tripping me out, bro. But I really enjoyed it because I love crazy Tom Cruise, which he is just crazy. So I love Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite scene. My least favorite scene is, no disrespect to Paul Newman, a legend. He won the Academy Award for Best Actor in this movie. But that's kind of my least favorite scene, is trying to figure out how Paul Newman won Best Actor in this movie. Because it's not like he does a whole lot. There's not a whole lot of range for his character.
What is the scene that you're referring to? Or just
any scene that
just
Paul
in
Newman,
general, him being like, since he won Best Actor, just him in general in the movie is what you're.
Yeah, I wanted more range since he won Best Actor. All we see of Paul Newman pretty much is just him being cool and I'm gonna teach you how to fucking hustle. Just be a cool guy the whole time. Not a whole lot of emotion.
Correct.
Even when Tom Cruise is in his face for like touching his girlfriend and stuff like that, he's like, "Hey, man, just chill out."
It was acting.
yeah, it was just acting. I'm like, okay.
Are you
acting right now?
So my favorite scene in this movie was, so I was really hoping they were gonna do it whenever he was playing the pro, and the pro was sitting there just kind of talking smack on him, and he's like, "Does it hurt? It's just gonna get worse," and this and that. And then whenever Tom Cruise plays him in the tournament, Tom Cruise just is beating him and starts saying the same things that he was saying to him. That was my favorite part. My least favorite part was actually the very final scene because I hate it whenever they completely leave it open. They didn't even, so they built up this entire movie for him to finally go ahead and get noble and not take the money, and I want your real game. And then they don't even show the freaking game.
I am 100% backing you on that, sir. Like, because I was like, oh, this is going to be the conclusion of the movie. These two,
Right. They're going to have this
the
awesome
score
game,
here,
and they're going to settle the score, and they're going to work. They're going to smash their shit, and it just left you with them getting ready to start the game. So
with him saying, "I'm back."
I hate open-ended movies, like where they just leave it open. It's like, okay,
yeah.
Had this movie come out this year, I'd be like, all right, we're going to get a sequel. But it came out in the 80s, and there hasn't been a sequel.
Right. Well, it took them 25 years to create this sequel because this was a sequel to the
right. But at the end of the day, had there been a sequel to this movie, the last scene of this movie would not have been my least favorite scene.
Right. I think part of that was the ending was a nod to fans of the first movie because the last line is "I'm back," and then cue credits.
Right.
So apparently he was good. He retired from pool, and now he's like, "Oh, I'm back," or whatever. I don't know. I have to watch The Hustler. Maybe my score will even change after I watch The Hustler. I don't know.
Possible. So an honorable mention for my my favorite scene would have been getting to see Maid Marian's boobies.
Boobies. She's shown her boobies in a few movies.
I didn't know that. Like, I haven't followed her career too closely, but
I followed her a little bit just because she was in this movie called Stir of Echoes, and I've always been curious what else she did outside of that. She's done some TV shows, some movies, and stuff like that. So yeah, and she shows her movies in Stir of Echoes. So I've already seen him before.
Well, she was also in Scarface.
Oh, was she? Okay.
She was Tony Montana's sister.
Yeah. And she's like, "You want to fuck me, Tony? You want to fuck me, Tony?"
Say hello to my little friend.
Well, like right after he kills his partner, this whole time, right in front of her, because his partner's fucking his sister. So that's a weird debate there. But then the sister's like, "You want to fuck me, Tony?"
It's just weird. It's not a weird debate.
Well,
it's weird if you're wanting to fuck your sister kind of thing.
Yeah. Did they ever say their blood sister or not? Anyway, we'll do a Scarface episode later on down the road.
We'll revisit gangster movies someday.
Yeah, because that's one I definitely want to talk about because I love Scarface.
I do too. I mean, Scarface and Casino would be two good ones.
Any two mafia movies would be good comparison ones. Even though you came up with a weird fucking combo on the first round of gangster movies.
Hey, Corky Romano and
Squad
Gangster
and
Squad
Corky Romano. It's our biggest episode yet, so there's a lot of Corky Romano fans out there apparently.
Hey, you never know.
They like Girl Scout cookies.
Oh, sorry, I was looking through my notes. One of my other favorite parts of the movie was the first round at the tournament. Whenever Eddie's playing this guy, and he breaks, and he's like, "I didn't deserve that." And he's like, "Is this your first tournament, buddy?" And then after Eddie just, I'm guessing, mopped the floor with him, he's shaking the guy's hand, and he's like, "I didn't deserve that." And he's like, "Yes, you deserved that."
Okay, so important question on this movie. We know and love Tom Cruise.
Yes.
What did you think of his weird shaped hair?
I did not like it. It was weird.
That was like Pauly D from the Jersey Shore. That came out and then flat topped, and
all I could think of was like Johnny Bravo. Like a dark haired Johnny Bravo is all I could think of with that hairdo.
Okay. I went Jersey Shore. You went Johnny Bravo. High five. Let's see. I think they covered up pretty much all my notes because, like, I couldn't really think of much to say about this movie because it was the first time watching it. I'm sitting there watching it, and to me, I mean,
So
my issue was it was very level.
So I have two more notes that we'll touch on, and then we can go into our ratings. So I'm sorry, but whenever the place that Vincent works at, Tom Cruise's character works at, Child World, I was sitting there, I was like, what the?
I didn't realize that's what it was called.
I was like, really? You're gonna go out there and call a it was like their version of Toys R Us, but they called it Child World.
Boy, that sounds like what's that guy that hunts down predators? Like that'd be a fucking firebrand for me.
I can't remember his name, but yeah.
You know, I can't remember the show's name because I hate watching those kind of shows because it just fucking creeps me the fuck out. I'm like, oh my God.
So
goddamn pedo shows.
The other thing I was going to bring up is, so in this movie, kind of in what we'll call the climax of the movie, Paul Newman, his character, Fast Eddie, apparently gets noble at the end of the movie because he thinks he's sitting there and playing this real game with Tom Cruise whenever they meet up in the quarterfinals or whatever it was. And he's like, he was trying to console Tom Cruise after Tom Cruise lost and this and that. And the whole time Tom Cruise had a bet in the background that is exactly what Eddie taught him to do. So Tom Cruise comes in and says, "Hey, I've got your cut, man." Dude, like it was easy money. You were right. There was $8 grand in that envelope, and that's your cut. And Tom and Paul and Eddie was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Yeah, I put a bet on us because the odds were so different." It just struck me odd that Paul Newman had spent the entire movie trying to teach him how to be a hustler, and then whenever he does the hustler thing, Paul Newman gets mad at him
because he got hustled.
Right. Well, but
when the whole movie, Paul Newman hustling Tom Cruise, though, just so he can
Tom Cruise thought he was going to be Tom Cruise thought he was that. What the right thing to do was to make all this money by hustling somebody else, and then he did the right thing by giving Eddie's cut, because it was we're doing the hustle, and here we go. And then Eddie got all noble on it, and it's like, okay, well, he shouldn't have got mad at him, but okay, whatever. I guess that makes it the movie.
When he said "do the hustle," I thought of the song "Do the Hustle." Yeah, the whole singer though of Paul Newman hustling Tom Cruise like the whole movie.
But I don't think he was hustling in the entire movie. He was trying to teach him how to be a hustler. And Tom Cruise just wanted to go play his best game every game.
But then Paul Newman forfeiting his game in the tournament after he beat Tom Cruise.
But he didn't beat Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise, he made the bet, and he missed a couple shots to make sure he lost that game without making it look like he lost it. And that's when he took the money to Paul Newman, Eddie. He took the money there, and Newman thought he won fair and square and got mad about it. Didn't want the money, and that's how the end of the movie came about.
Okay, that helped me out a little bit. I was still confused there in this movie. I don't know if I just got distracted or something, but I missed a plot point somewhere in there.
The end of the movie, I felt like should have been a little better, but if you're gonna put this in here that he's not gonna like, he didn't like being played, even though he was doing exactly what he was taught to do, and then you go in here and build up this game that's going to happen. That's I want your best shot. I want your best game. And then
they did build it up. Wasn't very climactic. And there wasn't a really big build up either.
No, it was very anticlimactic. This movie being what it was, the ending frustrated me. The movie itself, I really enjoyed. I felt like there was places that partially it's my fault not knowing that there was a prequel. Like this was a sequel. I like there were some places where I thought I didn't know the backstory and they didn't really explain it very well in the movie. But that's because obviously there was another movie before this that probably explained all those things that I missed.
Right. My bad.
Well, it's fine. So overall, the movie itself, I enjoyed. I mean, the cast cameo, like I'm going to call some of them cameos, were great. At the end of the day, I ended up giving this movie a 7.
I think my favorite Scorsese thing that he's ever done was his performance in Shark's Tale. He was the blowfish.
Okay.
With this one, like it had my attention. Like I didn't want to pick up my phone at all. Like obviously I watched it at home because it's 1986 film, so I didn't see it in theaters. But so I'm sitting there watching it, and it has my attention, but it never really engaged like emotions out of me. Like I wasn't like going, "Ooh, what's gonna happen next?" So what's gonna happen here? No
so the entire movie, you weren't interested in like checking your phone or doing anything like that, or just
no, it had my attention.
Okay.
And I'm very ADHD. Like it's just fucking like I want to check my phone all the time when I watch movies that I've seen before and stuff like that, or just a movie that bores me. But this one, it kept me engaged. But I was like, I felt like I was waiting for something bigger to happen. But this movie was just very level toned throughout the whole.
It really
thing.
was
Like Paul Newman's acting. It was just very
very monotone.
Yeah, very monotone.
It wasn't a heartbeat monitor. It was a flatline monitor.
There was nothing that ever happened that started building a climax to go, oh, it made me grab my seat or anything like that. So, I mean, I appreciate the movie. Tom Cruise being a psychopath like he is. I loved that. Paul Newman, how he got Best Actor. I'll have to see what other actors were in that category. Because maybe that was just a good year for him because all the other movies sucked that year. I don't know.
But that was the same year that Top Gun came out, unless the awards show happened right after Top Gun and then before. Top Gun would have been a better candidate to have Best Actor for a lot of things.
No, we might have to look up 1986 Best Actor category on the next commercial break. But so with this, like the way I see it, like it was a good movie. It had my attention, but it didn't really bring anything out of me. So I'm just gonna get right dead in the middle and give it a 5.
Straight up 5. All right.
Yeah, straight up 5. Middle fiver.
All right. So I like this better movie. I liked this movie better than you did.
You did, yeah. The reason why I did this billiards theme is for this movie right here, Poolhall Junkies. This is a movie that I have absolutely loved since when it first came out. It's an indie flick. I don't know how I came across it. I think somebody introduced me to this, and I was like, okay. And then I watched it, and I immediately got hooked in the first 10 minutes of it. Okay, so let's go like that opening scene. Well, we learn about Side Pocket Johnny, the side pocket kid. You know, when he's a young guy, he's wanting to be a pro, and his guardian,
right? His Joe,
who's a cock stain.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Dropped the fucking letter in the trash. I was as soon as that happened, I was like, oh, this guy.
That's what I love about this movie, too. It's like every scene is just cut and dry, straight to the point of what they're trying to show you.
Yeah.
Like to the next scene.
So, I'm sorry. Did you want to give more synopsis, or can I jump in on the second scene of the movie?
Well, let me describe the movie a little bit here for the folks. This came out in 2002. The star Mars Callahan, he wrote, directed, and starred in it.
2003.
Oh well, I got 2002. Either way, it's 2003. Shut the fuck up.
Maybe I wrote it down wrong.
But God damn it, my brain is fuck you, fat orange cat. God damn it. Well, okay, so
the movie's about a kid that thinks he's gonna make it pro, he ends up getting
and
brought
didn't
in
make it pro.
by his backer that
Make it pro.
by his backer that ends up wanting to make him a hustler.
Mhm.
Okay, so I was wrong. I wrote it down wrong. It's 2002.
Sorry.
There you go. So he finds out that much like so once he finds out, like once he doesn't get his letter, he turns into a straight up hustler, and
that he was trained to be by his guardian. Yeah.
right. And then he finds out later that from the guy that keeps writing him the letters to invite him to the pro stuff, the guy comes up and talks to him. He's like, I've been sending you letters. So he finds out that his guardian is not really doing what's best for him.
Mm-hmm.
And he drops him in a great way, by the way. And so that guy goes, so his backer goes and gets another guy, brings back and starts some stuff. And do you want to continue? Do you want to carry on the recap real quick? Because I'm
what I was just thinking, like everything you just said happens in the first 10 minutes of the fucking movie.
Right. I was going to say I'm starting to ramble a little bit, so why don't you go ahead and take over the recap again?
No, your ramble is like exactly right. Like it's this kid, and he's a young kid, and he wants to be pro, and he's waiting for his invitation. Right away, we find out that the cock stain that is his guardian throws away his letter, and then in the first 10 minutes, he learns that Joe fucked him over. Mm-hmm. So he gives little signs to the black pool hall. We'll call it.
We're going to talk about that. Don't worry. We'll circle back to that.
Okay. So we'll circle back to that. So let's just talk about the cast for a minute. So Mars Callahan.
Was he the main guy?
He's the main guy. He's Johnny Doyle. Why am I fucking brain fart like a son of a bitch? But okay, so yeah, he co-wrote and directed and starred in this movie. And how this movie came about with this co-writing partner, because the main star, Mars Callahan, he's an accomplished pool player, is what I've seen. He never went pro, but he's accomplished pool player.
He actually is a pool player.
Yes, he is an actual pool player. And the person he wrote this movie with, he was actually trying to hustle him at a pool hall. At the same time, the person that he wrote this movie with was trying to hustle him, like before they met. So they were trying to hustle each other, and they learned about that. And then after they tried to hustle each other, they sat and talked and became good friends. And all of a sudden turned into, let's write a movie about our history of pool hustling.
Okay.
All right. And all that.
So there's a lot of legit knowledge about hustling pool, like pool sharks, we'll call them.
Yeah. Let's say if there was ever a passion project, this was with Mars Callahan. And the writer that he wrote this movie with. Because they became friends, and they wrote this movie together. It took them 10 years to actually make this movie. So they wrote this movie 10 years before they actually got around to this. So that's what I call it, an actual passion project, where you stick around for 10 years.
You want
get a fucking.
Well, that means that they wanted the script to be what they wanted it to be.
Mm-hmm. That, and it just took them that long to sell it to somebody that's gonna make the movie for them, like, because you have to find financial backing to make this movie, because I mean obviously they weren't big stars, so they couldn't just finance it themselves,
right?
So they had to sell it, and apparently it took them 10 years to do it.
But hey, I mean,
and
the result was worth it.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad it took them 10 years, because the cast of this movie is fucking awesome.
Speaking
of
Mars
Mars Callahan.
There was so the guy that played, was it Tang? Was that the
I was waiting for you to bring up Tang. Yeah. Yep.
So he was in the movie quite a bit at the beginning, and then he was going off to do whatever with his life savings.
Mhm.
And every time I saw him on screen, I was like, this guy's familiar. I know him.
I knew it. I knew it. I was like, Colonel's not gonna immediately know where he knows him from, but he knows him.
So I knew it. I ended up looking him up, and the first movie that I saw that he was most known for was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: Secret of the Ooze.
Yeah,
I was like,
Kino!
oh my goodness, yes. And then I saw that he was in Surf Ninjas, and I was like, yes, yes. Okay, so I knew him, but I couldn't place it. And
he's also in Ninja Turtles Part 1, but he was in the turtle suit. I can't remember which turtle he was in, but he actually was in the turtle suit because he was an actual, not just stereotype Asians, but he knew his fucking.
He knows his karate.
Yeah.
He knows his
he has a history with the Ninja Turtle movies. I don't know if he did anything in the third one, but yeah, he was 1 and 2. And then he was, I guess, the filmmakers of the Ninja Turtles movies, they liked him so much that they gave him the role as Kino.
Okay.
Because he wanted to break out as an actor outside of a suit.
Right,
so they gave him the role
as
Kino.
At the end of the day, I was like, I know this guy. I know him. And I did. I just had to look it up.
I was so curious, though, if you're instantly going to know that was Kino, or if you're going to, if it's going to take you a minute.
It took me a minute
to realize it.
It took me a minute.
That was my first guess, is that it was going to take you a minute. That was Kino. And Surf Ninjas, and then also, because this movie also stars the absolute legendary Christopher Walken.
Oh, yes. Yes, Christopher. Oh, the first scene that he shows up and they take him up to the upstairs, and they end up hustling the owner, and he legit just says, "Hey," like they're putting this game down, and his bet is, "I want you to give my girlfriend a job." No special, no breaks or nothing. Just give her a chance to shoot her shot.
That was very romantic in a hustle way.
Right. And the guy was like, you realize that we scout the top people and this and that. And what do you have to put up against that? And Christopher Walken's like, well, I know you love my new Benz. Here you go.
So I know you love your new Benz. Here we go.
There we go.
I mean, I make $1 million, I lose $1 million. I'll get another one. I need to stop trying to do Christopher Walken, because I've tried to do Christopher Walken impressions for a long time.
Christopher Walken was my favorite character in the show, just because, even they're at the end whenever they're doing the climactic scene.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I'm a millionaire. 80,000 is nothing to me. What else are you gonna put on the table?
I lose 80,000. I'll make another one.
He's like I was really hoping he was gonna ask for his suit too. Like he was like, what's that ring cost you? because he asked her how much else you got in your pockets. He's like, oh, I got a couple thousand. He's like, how about you? Oh, I got like 500. Well, what's that ring? How much did that ring cost you? I was really hoping he was
2,800.
I was really hoping he was going to ask about
I got you.
I was really hoping he was going to ask about taking a suit and stuff too, to where he'd have to walk out naked and whatnot.
Yeah. Christopher Walken, on a side note, that's an impression I've worked on for many years. Sometimes I get it right, sometimes I don't, and it drives me crazy because I can never just bust it out. I have to prepare for it. And I fail every time when nobody's fucking looking. Well, when I'm at home, I get it right.
Right. Well, and in this movie, Christopher Walken is also a pretty dang good pool player himself. Mm-hmm. Like he makes the shot whenever they're upstairs with the boss, and he's like, "You couldn't make that shot again in a million years." Like, I ain't got to make it again. I just made it now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. that shot you're talking about, you know, that little side shot that he does.
Yeah.
And it comes in. That was a one-take shot.
Nice.
It was a one-take shot. And what's funny is, though, that Morris Callahan, the director, he was like, let's do some practice shots first before we hit record, because that was at the time where it was filmed. So it cost a lot of money and it was independent. He's like, no, let's go ahead and record. And I'm going to stop doing the fucking Chris Walken. But he pretty much said, he said, let's just hit record. And if I get on the first shot, that'd be great. And sure enough, he gets it on the first fucking shot. So the reaction you see to where he fucking puts his hands up and you see Morris Callahan clapping in the background, that wasn't any action.
That was real.
That was real. Oh my God. They actually got it. Yeah. That was legit.
That's awesome.
But to back up on Christopher Walken and Keno, fucking Ernie Reyes Jr., this is not the first movie they've been together in. It's the first time they were together, but they showed up in another movie later on down the road. A little movie called The Rundown. With The Rock and Sean.
Oh, no, yeah. Those are the two big names in it. Okay.
Christopher Walken was the bad guy, and then you had Keno, Ernie Reyes Jr. He was one of the jungle people. Which he's like, "Hello, Kansas City."
Ah, yes. I'm seeing it in my head right now. Yes.
Yeah, and he kicks the shit out of The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep, that's Keno.
That's awesome.
Oh, that was awesome. And then this cast is awesome, man, because like we talked about earlier, Chaz Palminteri, you know, Mafiosa, the Gabagoo. One of my favorite performances in the movie was Nick, the runner of the pool hall. His name is Rod Steiger. This was his very last movie before he died.
Yeah, the old guy, right?
Yep. And I thought he was awesome. He was my second favorite performance in this movie. I thought he was great. And then we had Michael Rosenbaum, Mr. Lex Luthor himself from Smallville.
Yeah.
So we had Ricky Schroeder.
Yeah.
From Silver Spoons for the old school people out there.
I don't know how many times it showed, but what I will say is one of my favorite scenes is like they're sitting there, like obviously they're sitting there throwing money down and making bets the entire movie. There's at least one clip where they're sitting there, and in the background you see a sign on the wall at the pool hall that says "No gambling."
What I loved about Nick, he reminded me of the bartender from Boondock Saints. Did you ever see that?
Did I
have
ever
Tourette's
see that?
and stuff like that?
Did I ever?
I don't know. You
that movie
surprised me
is
with
literally where I can no longer look at William Dafoe the same ever again.
Jesus. God damn it. Let's replay that goddamn commercial.
The cat scene, and I don't have to explain it any more than that in the Boondock Saints. The cat scene, oh my God.
Oh my God. I don't know why I went John Travolta there. I don't know why I went John Travolta there, but I gotta throw him in there. Oh my God. Since I can't do a Christopher Walken, I'll do a John Travolta. Oh my God. I'm John Travolta. Oh my God.
Oh God. All right. So I do want to revisit the second scene in the movie. So the second scene in the movie is whenever he finds out that his guardian is not really being a very good guardian. And they're sitting there. They have so you and I both have many friends that are not the same complexion that we are. we notoriously have one that is we both love to death. Mr. Antoine himself.
Yeah.
And the scene whenever
the way that scene is, we can't quote it.
We cannot. And but the discussion around the hard R is what it made me laugh.
Okay, so when you were watching that scene and he kept saying the hard R, and he's like, "No, it's an A."
Yes.
You know, to paraphrase it, stuff like that, where you're
So-
like, oh
so-
man, what the fuck's going on here?
So again, this is my first watch. I didn't know that they actually knew each other, and so the black guy's like, no, it's A, and then
We're
the
like,
main
how is
character-
he not fucking killing him right now?
Right, the main character keeps throwing out the hard R, and it's like, oh my god, like this guy's gonna get killed. And
What I love though is that the black dude didn't know about the setup. He was
Oh, he
just reading
didn't?
the signs. No, he was just reading
I
the
thought he
signs.
knew
He's
about
like,
it. Okay,
no, like when he's saying like, you think I would let this white boy come and talk this much shit and not see the signs?
He did say that, but I thought they already knew each other prior to that. Maybe so.
They
let
did,
them-
because then he said, "You're my ninja."
like they kept talking, and so like it gets down to that last shot of the scene, and he looks over at his backer and he's like, "You should have taken care of me, man." And then just knocks obviously scratches on the last shot of the game.
Well, because Johnny there, he didn't know that Joe was throwing away his letters until he ran into that dude while he's at the bar
Right.
in the middle of that hustle with them.
Right.
So that's when he busts in the door. He's like, "Oh, 1 minute it sounds like the Apollo in this bitch, now it sounds like a church," or whatever the fuck he says, you know.
Yeah.
And then the way he came in and busting and talking shit, that was kind of sending signals to the black guy that was running that pool hall. And he's like,
He
"You think I
saw
let this
something
white
going
motherfucker fucking come in and say shit like that without sending me some signals?"
Right.
That was a hell of a way to open the movie. Like, I mean,
It was.
if there was a way to open a movie to draw you in, that's a good way to fucking draw you in. It got straight to the point of what was going on.
Like they said some very controversial things in that scene, but I feel like they did it tactfully. If
I
that
say
makes
the
sense.
result of it, you understood why he
Correct.
was saying that shit. And,
Correct.
And doing all that. Then you meet his little brother, Mr. Lex Luthor himself.
Right. But did you also notice that his girlfriend was also the daughter of Clint Eastwood?
I kept seeing her last name was Eastwood. I didn't look to see if they were related or not.
That is Clint's daughter. Clint
has a ginger daughter that is a smoke show.
Yep.
I mean, it's no secret. I love me some pasty redheads with the piercing eyes, and she was a gabagool in a tasty way.
You wanted to gobble-gooler.
I did. I fucking did. Now, performances in this movie, like I like Mars Callan, like he wrote and directed, in my opinion, a fantastic movie. His performance in the movie and his performance though in the movie, he was very hit and miss. Like sometimes he's a good actor, and sometimes he was a little over dramatic for me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dude, pump the brakes. It's not that fucking serious. Like, come on.
One of my favorite, one of the things I liked about this movie was they did a lot of what we'll call hustling bets. So one of the bets that made me laugh the most was he had one of the guys had the 2 full beers there and the 2 shots in front of the other 2 guys.
Yeah,
And
I was about to bring that up.
And he was like, "Hey, $200. I can drink both of these beers before you drink those shots. But we can't like and as they're setting it up, they're like, "Hey," he says, "Hey, you can't touch my glass. I can't touch yours. Like you can't just knock my glass over. You can't touch my glass. I can't touch yours."
Mm-hmm.
And as they get into it, he's like, "Hey, to make it fair, let me finish my first beer before you guys get onto your second one."
It's all about
so
the
what he
performance,
does,
pull off that hustle. Yeah.
Right. And so then what he does is he finishes his first beer, and as the other 2 guys are arguing about when they can pick up their shots, he takes his pint glass and sets it over top of the shot glass. That's still on the table.
Reminder, you can't touch my glass, I can't touch yours.
You can't touch my glass, I can't touch yours. So he takes the $200 and he walks off while he drinks his beer.
I'm glad you brought that up because that was literally going to be the segue to what I was going to talk about, because I have actually seriously have pulled that off before. Because I watched the movie when it first came out. Yeah. And then, several years went by and I'm 21, I'm at a bar, and I figured, I was like, okay, I know, I remember this hustle from the movie called Poolhall Junkies.
Oh, God. You got to be careful with hustles, man. People get pissed.
Oh, I know. That's why I was like being super buddy with them, to where, like, you know how sometimes you meet people at the bar, you're best friends instantly just because you're drunk, and
right.
like that. So that's what it was. And I was like, okay, I have a competition for you. It wasn't fucking $200. It was like a $10 bet,
like $5, $10, something like that.
Yeah. And I did that, and I played it off just like, because I remember I was like, it's all about the performance. So I did the whole, okay, we set up the 2 shots, the 2 pint glasses, and I was like, okay. And then I was like, before I started drinking, I was like, okay, well, no Tom foolery here. You can't touch my glasses. I can't touch your shots. And then I went to drink in. It's like, wait a minute, hold on. To be fair, because obviously this is unfair, let me finish my first pint first. And then after that, then you can go ahead and take your shots. And it fucking worked to a T, like exactly like in the movie. It worked just out like that, exactly like that for me. They were that fucking stupid. Toward me, Andrew Fay fucking pulled a fucking fast one on them and
pulled the wool over their eyes.
Mm-hmm. And that was during a time where I was super poor, so I got to buy myself another beer after that bet. And that wasn't the only hustle that I learned from this movie. I got to pull another one on somebody too, and not non-pool, because I'm not good enough to do the pool hustles. But the other hustle that I pulled off was where did you get your shoes hustle.
I didn't ask you where you bought them. I asked him where you got them. Right now you get them on your feet.
Yep. That actually won me $50.
No,
I went
kidding.
big on that. Yeah, because I noticed this guy had very nice shoes, and the way he was just kind of walking on them and stuff like that, I could tell he didn't want to get scuffed or anything like that.
Right.
He's very proud of him. And then so I, did the whole buddy thing with him at first. I was like, "You want to place a bet?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." He's like, "You're not gonna believe me, but I have ESP, just like they did in the movie."
Yeah.
He's like, "Dude, don't even fucking talk to me anymore." I'm like, "No, seriously." It's like, because he was like shooing me off. I was like, so I had to cut to the chase. I was like, no, dude, no, I can tell you where you got your shoes. He's like, these shoes. I was like, yeah, the shoes that you have on your feet. I can tell you where you got them. He's like, all right, how much you want to bet? I was like, $50, because that should only, if I lost, that could only give me a beat down and not a murder. I didn't want to go too high. And then so he's like, all right, bet. And I said, and then he kind of did what the guy in the movie's like, you're never going to get where I got these, because I got these out of state. You're never going to understand what state or what fucking shop that I got them in.
Yeah.
And then so that's where I busted. I was like, well, I didn't ask where you bought your shoes. I said where you got your shoes, and you got them on your feet. He stopped. And like there was a moment of freezing to where I stopped and he stopped, and I was like, what's gonna happen next?
You weren't sure what's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm. To where I was slowly tiptoeing away.
Backing up.
Like, okay. Yeah, like, do I need to like run? And he's like, you son of a bitch. And I was like, oh shit. And then, like, when he's like hulking out, like it looked like he was about to fucking rage on me, he's like, that's fucking good. Here's $50. I was like, yes.
That's awesome.
Uh-huh. And then after we did that, he waited for new people to come into the bar area, and he went and did it himself.
He tried to do it too.
Yeah. That was a glorious night.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome that you were able to do both, like the two hustles that I remember that were not pool hustles. That were in that movie that I remember. You were able to pull both of them off.
Mm-hmm. And those are the only times I've actually attempted them either. So they're both 100% effective.
Retire them while they're still
right. Well, that's how I play pool. The second I beat somebody, I don't play them again. There's no rematch.
Yeah.
There's no rematch. Once I beat somebody,
retire
I'm
those
done.
while they're good.
Yeah.
By the way, you can't have a good movie without a midget in the movie.
But performance-wise, to me though, Christopher Walken was number one. Like when Christopher Walken's in a movie, it's hard to top him unless you're like, Daniel Day-Lewis or
Christopher Walken is just a great actor. Like, yes, he has
so
his
fucking entertaining.
He has his cadence where everybody likes to make fun of. But let's be honest, he's a great actor.
I don't think anybody's making fun of him. He just sticks out like he does.
Yeah.
Like he's literally the only human that has his own accent. Like nobody has that accent.
Nobody
like
has
him.
the Christopher Walken accent. You know what?
Like if there is an island of Christopher Walken, you get that accent. Like you can sit there and depict like, okay, there's a little bit of this and a little bit of this. That means that he's not clear cut. Like you can't tell where he's from. He's just Christopher Walken.
He's walking.
Come on. Does your mother sew?
do a little montage of Christopher Walken right here. Just do it. Do it.
You cannot call me on the spot to do a little Christopher Walken. It's like the tooth fairy. You put a tooth under your pillow and you expect a quarter the next morning. This sucks. I can't do it. And I almost went John Travolta. I almost went, oh my God. Insane.
Hey, that was good. That was good.
I mean, that end like this, like you didn't like the ending of Color of Money. This ending was fucking phenomenal in my fucking.
I loved the ending of this movie. Like he's like, hey, here's the like. So I forget exactly how they worked it. Like, no, that's right, because he paid $5,000 for the shot.
For his shot.
For the other guy's shot, and he's like, no, it's my turn. No, I paid $5,000 for your shot. Now I'm gonna take.
Be honest, because I didn't see that. I thought the way they were setting up, I thought he was gonna hustle and he was gonna make it. When I first saw this movie, be honest, did you see him when he missed the shot?
I thought he was gonna make it, and then, yep.
And then he stuck stick out, and then he started explaining like, "I bought your shot. Now it's my shot." I was
so at the beginning, I thought he
was
like
gonna make it. Saw.
I literally thought he would have made it. I thought he made it, and then whenever he didn't make it, I was like, "Oh no!" I'm sitting here thinking, "Okay, it's the other guy's shot," and then the other guy starts going up to take a shot. No, that's not your shot. I paid $5,000 for your shot, and I was like, "Oh, he just legit set himself up for an easy $85,000." Right?
So you didn't see that coming either.
I did not. I did not at all.
Anyways, then one final note before we
have more notes. Let's hear your other notes.
I just have one more. What do you think about 17,000 miles of unused vagina? It's common knowledge, bro. It's just common knowledge.
All right, you're gonna have to refresh me a little bit on that. That was a statement they made in the movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
In the diner scene, you got the little gabagool and the friends. was like, because he was saying the average length of a dick was like 5.9 inches, something like that, and the average depth of a vagina was like 7.8 inches. So then his math was there's 17,000 miles of unused vagina out there in the country.
That's right. It didn't resonate with me, obviously, because I had to have you refresh me on it. But
I just love this little common knowledge thing. Everything he says, like, it's common knowledge. It's common knowledge.
It's common knowledge.
Which nobody knows that when they're going about it.
It's obviously not common knowledge, bro.
Did you watch the scene during the credits to where they
Yes.
find out if that
So-
Chico's boobs were real or fake?
I had a yes. Okay, okay, that refreshed my memory. Hold on, let me get back to my notes because I had written down real or fake payment outtake scene, and I was like, wait. And I was sitting there thinking earlier, I was like, what? Wait. Oh, yeah, because they had the girl. They went up. They all went up and felt her and find out if they were real or fake.
That was a pretty good scene.
It was
I
a
remember
great
saying
outtake.
those got to be real. Those got to be real. And I'm with the people that prefer real over fake. Fun fact: I hate fake titties.
I am too.
Hate fake titties.
I mean, I don't hate them because the girls,
I hate 'em.
whenever a girl gets fake titties, she wants to show them off. But I also prefer the feel.
Well, I
of
mean, I'm
fake-
gonna
real ones.
look. I'm gonna look, yeah, but my preference is.
Oh come on! Oh come on! You know you're gonna look at any titty that gets whipped out in front of you.
Oh yeah, even the fucking ones that not even point down but point behind them. I'll even look at those.
You love looking at any titty that gets whipped out in front of you.
Naturally, I'm a dude. Yeah. Jesus
All right,
Christ.
so I'm gonna go first. So this movie was again a first time watch for me.
Mhm.
I was very surprised by the amount of enjoyment I got out of this movie.
Yeah, there we go.
Like having never
So
heard
I'm
of this
super
movie
excited to hear
before,
this review.
having never heard of this movie before, I was not expecting much. And like what I do
Not
when
that you haven't seen it, but you never even heard of it before.
correct. So like when I go into a movie that I've never heard of, I don't do research on it to find out if I'm gonna like it. It's like if it's one you've picked, I'm gonna go in raw dog.
Going blind.
Going in raw.
Raw dog.
So
Eh.
going into this movie, I had zero expectations, and this movie killed it for me. Like I enjoyed it a lot. I don't know how I never heard of it. I don't know how I never watched it because it was right up my alley. This movie gets an 8.5 for me.
Nice. Hell yeah. 8.5. And as much as I love this movie, you gave it a
You're not
higher
even
rating
giving
than
it that,
me.
are you? I was going to say you're
You
not
gave
even
it a
giving
higher
that.
rating. By 0.5, I give it an 8.
Fair enough. Oh, that's right. I got to tell you what we're doing next week.
Yeah.
So next week we're
News to
going to
me.
do. I mean, I'm going to apologize up front because both of the movies are kind of long.
Okay.
However, we are going to do a Stephen King novel adaptation week.
You know, perfect timing because the new movie The Monkey came out this weekend.
Oh, all right.
Stephen
Is
King.
that the movie?
The clapping monkey?
Yeah.
Yeah. That movie just came out this weekend. Yeah.
Well, that's not going to be one of the movies
Based
we
off-
review. That's not going to be one of the movies we review.
Okay, good. Because it's really
The movie-
cold. I don't want to walk to the movie theater.
The movies that we are going to review are The Green Mile,
Oh. Uh-huh.
and
What's the other one?
The Shawshank Redemption.
Shawshank. I was about to say Shawshank Redemption.
So I'm not sure if you've
Damn.
seen these movies. These are. I'm going to tell you right now.
Nope. Something clicked in your head because I've told you I have not seen either one of these movies before.
Okay. So
and
I'm going to tell you right now.
you figure out a way to link them because they're both Stephen King.
They are both Stephen King novels.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
So I'm going to tell you right now, both of these movies are going to get a high rating from me. I'm curious what your rating's going to be.
yeah, I have no idea what my
so
rating's
that-
going to be, but I'm so proud of you because those are two movies that people have been really wanting me to see, and I've just never gone around to. Now I have to. I have to.
I will tell you, they're on the longer side of movies, but they are
That's fine.
they are wonderful movies. So I'm excited to hear your reaction next week. And with that,
You know what? Thank you. Thank you for picking this movie. Those are 2 movies that people have been fucking be like, oh, you're a cinephile, but you haven't seen these movies? You fucking poser. Shit like that.
Honestly, I think you're gonna like them. We'll see.
And you
tune in next week to find out.
You found. I love the loophole that you found, Stephen King. Nice.
Tune in next week to find out how Andrew likes them.
Yeah. Tune in. I'm happier than talking about Poolhall Junkies right now. I'm excited for this. We'll see how I feel about this. Okay.
All right. So I've been Colonel Whiteside.
I've been Faye Whiteside.
No, you've been Faye.
Oh.
I've been Colonel Whiteside. You're not Faye Whiteside. Come on now.
And Faye, that's Colonel. This has been Sons of Screens. We still haven't figured a sign out. But,
hey, we love you guys, and thanks for watching.
Yeah. Shoot some pool.
Bada bing, bada boom. Real sky.
How you doing?